Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Thanks so much for clicking. It means a lot if you guys keep clicking. If you guys keep clicking, I'll keep making. And today I want to talk about Hai, our favorite person from last season. I'm personally not the biggest fan of Hai. I thought he was a decent TV character, but after looking at some of the stuff that he's saying on social media, it's pretty disgusting. I'm not gonna lie. A lot of it is attacking people. It's just overall his personality is very unlikable. But I've just been hearing some crazy stuff on his Twitter page. So today we're gonna look at a few of those absolutely ridiculous tweets that have come from Hai and talk about how crazy they are. That's it. That's all it is. As always, make sure to like, share, subscribe, do all that good stuff. Apparently, YouTube is unsubscribing some of you guys. So if you look down below and you got magically unsubscribed, make sure to resubscribe. If you're new, subscribe as always. And if that's it, let's get right into the video. All right, so the first tweet that we're going to look at reads, "Do you guys think Ronald Reagan is enjoying hell?" And then he actually points out the fact that he misspelled Reagan. A 6-letter, wow. I mean, it just shows the level of intellectual genius that we're dealing with here. I mean, Reagan, really? Like the old, nice, mild-mannered guy who's pretty good at his job, ended a few wars, maybe started some, but it's whatever. Like Reagan is that really the best that they have? It reminds me of when during the whole 2020 saga they wanted to cancel Ulysses S. Grant. Yes, the guy who was a Union general who fought against Confederates and burned down all of their houses and was notoriously very, very aggressive and helped win the war against the slave owners. I mean, it's just like these people are going after the most mild people, like Ronald Reagan. On top of that, he's dead, beating a dead horse, quite literally. I mean, I don't know. To me, it shows a lack of maturity. This is not something that I would tweet out, and I'm 16 years old, so I can imagine why. Is he 27? 27-year-old would be thinking this way. I mean, it's petty. Like, do you guys think that Ronald Reagan is enjoying hell right now? Really, bro? And don't even come at me with, "Oh, it's a joke, bro," because it only seems like that excuse works if you agree with people like I. Now, we've gotten past the worst of it, but it definitely does not get much better. I mean, after this, we get a tweet that says, "All male alliance? No thanks," with the little eye emoji. And it just shows that Hai literally thinks that an all-male alliance is this horrible, horrible thing. And yet, he literally says girlies at the end of each tweet, and he vehemently supports the all-female alliances. Now, I guarantee that if I interviewed Hai right now and I asked him why, he would probably tell me something about how historically women have been oppressed, and so therefore all women alliances are okay, but not all males, which to me is already a flawed concept. As if we're going to do the victim Olympics where this group got oppressed, so therefore they get this thing nowadays, it sounds similar to the practices in North Korea, where if your grandfather committed a crime, then you have to pay the price by going to jail. It's barbaric. The idea that these things that happened hundreds of years ago should now be put upon people who had nothing to do with it. Saying that history has consequences is obviously true, and no one's going to argue against that. But to say that because this thing happened hundreds of years ago, or even 100 years ago, that therefore an all-male alliance on Survivor is somehow problematic or horrible or sexist is not only hypocritical, but it's also just stupid. Then in this next tweet, he tries to diss capitalism with, I guess, a word that maybe sort of is kind of negative. I kind of had to go down a Urban Dictionary rabbit hole to find out, but I think it's a bad thing, which is hilariously hypocritical considering that he just made profit off of the show. Even while he didn't win, he still brung home at least several thousands of dollars that we know the contestants get just for going on the show in the first place, especially since he made merge and made the jury. It's a very capitalistic process where the show makes money from ad revenue and then gives it to Hai, and then Hai gives them a personality and they make more money from ad revenue. It's like one of the most capitalist processes that you can ever have, and yet Hai is perfectly fine with that because it benefits him. And really, this is the basis of the argument against capitalism: is when it benefits people, they love capitalism. When it doesn't, they don't. And that's really any financial system, because in the end, people are naturally going to be selfish to feed for their own kind, their own family, their own people. And when something doesn't do that, they're going to not like it. Now, it's funny that Hai says that because he doesn't seem like a poor guy by any means. Maybe he's just lazy and doesn't want to work. Who knows? He then switches his attack from Reagan to capitalism, and now he goes on to talk about responsible gun owners, of all people. He retweets a tweet that says, "Listen, there are responsible gun owners who enjoy hunting, and I want to make it clear that I don't care at all, and that they can find literally any other hobby." Now, this is obviously doing two things. One, they're trying to generalize the entire Second Amendment under the guise that it's just a hobby, just, defending yourself and your family or wanting to have protection against a possible tyrannical government. No, it's a hobby. It's a hobby, which is hilarious considering that those are the exact opposites of hobbies. Hobbies get your mind off of serious things like that. Again, it just shows a lack of knowledge in this field. I guarantee you Hai has never touched a gun, and I think Hai has definitely been unsuccessful so far in convincing me on any of these fields. He simply uses hot keywords, talks about hot topics that he really doesn't know about, or just straight up attacks people who are literally dead. Then we have this tweet where it's really not even political anymore. It's about Omar, of all people, right? The person who blindsides Hai and takes him out of the game. Hai is definitely not a fan of Omar. He sees his blind side as a wrongdoing by Omar or a moral fault in Omar's game. He's very, very salty about it still. He says, sounds like quite the slippery slope there. Whatever helps people sleep at night, I guess. So he obviously wants Omar to feel bad about blindsiding him, which is interesting considering that Hai played a very aggressive game before he got out, blindsiding the first 3 people at the merge. And once he oversteps his bounds and kind of overrides his partner's wishes in Mike does the exact same thing to him with the help of Omar. Now, Omar was in complete control of the tribe at that point and really was at that point all the way up until his vote out. And so I think if anything, he should respect Omar's aggressive gameplay and the fact that Omar plays the same game that he did, but did it better and made it farther. But no, he's jealous, he's angry, he's being emotional, he's being immature. And I think what it shows is that Hai has this lack of self-awareness, right? He thinks that these other people are so evil for doing these things, and he's so salty at something that happened literally a year ago at this point in his life, just because he thinks that Omar is some sort of morally horrible person because he blindsides him. He says, whatever helps you sleep at night. I think to me that's not only petty, but it's wrong. I mean, I think Omar's a nice guy, as much as I also don't really like Omar that much. Omar is definitely a nice person on the show. He never does anything malicious on the show. He doesn't rub it in any way. He doesn't flip him off on the way out like Cass does. There's really no need for hate on Omar, and I think what it does is it only makes Hai feel better about his blindside. But what do you think? Is he completely justified in what he's saying, or do you think he's just joking the whole time? Or do you see the hypocrisy in his statements and the overall bully-like behavior that we're seeing come from his Twitter? Let me know down below in the comments. As always, none of this happens without you guys. Without you guys, I'm sure you guys from the weird microphone. So as always, thank you. And if that's it, I'll talk to you guys in the next one.